Christmas. This is going to go live on Christmas Eve, and I hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas. Merry Christmas Eve. And because it is Christmas, I wanted to do something really fun for this week's video. We're going to go through a Christmas movie bracket. So I'm not great at these because I have a hard time choosing between movies. Honestly, I feel like I'd make a horrible movie, like professional movie critic, because I have such an eclectic taste. I can find the good in almost any movie. I mean, I've had my moments of exceptions where I've been like really, really negative on a movie, but it's rare. And I'm also super indecisive, and I love all movies. So like this might get complicated for me, might not. We'll see. We're gonna look at these particular movies and see how difficult it is for me to choose between them. But we're gonna go through a movie bracket, a Christmas movie bracket. I thought it'd be really fun. If you're watching on YouTube or Spotify, if you're watching the video version of the podcast, you will see the image of the bracket up, so you can follow along if you would like to. And we're gonna go through them, talk about them. I may have some honorable mentions for you at the end if some of my favorites that I would like to mention are not in the bracket. Okay, first up is Home Alone versus Scrooged. Super easy choice for me. That's gonna be Home Alone all day. Like, all day. I love Home Alone so much. Home Alone all day. So, the next one, Christmas Vacation or The Grinch. Now, they caught me with the version of The Grinch that they have, because if you can see the picture, it's the Jim Carrey version of The Grinch, which is my absolute favorite. I have a funny story. I actually got a tweet response from Jim Carrey while watching The Grinch one Christmas several years ago. I think I had like just graduated high school or something. And I was watching The Grinch, and I was watching the part where he's, doing that whole You're a Mean One, singing the You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch song. And I just tweeted, like, I wonder if that's actually him singing. Because it kind of sounded like it could be, but I wasn't totally certain. And it was really good for the character. Like, it fit the character really well. It didn't sound horrible. It sounded like the character would sound. And I replied Jim Carrey's Twitter account, and he responded and said, "Yep, it's me. Glad you're enjoying the movie." It made my day. I was so excited because I have been a huge Jim Carrey fan for like most of my life. So it meant a lot to me. And that version of The Grinch means a lot to me. I could quote it endlessly. So because of that, even though Christmas Vacation is really good, and there's super quotable things from Christmas Vacation too, The Grinch has a place in my heart for many, many reasons. So it's gotta be The Grinch. Okay, so now, A Christmas Story versus The Santa Claus. I love A Christmas Story. It's a good one, and it has some really funny parts. But The Santa Claus, I grew up on way more intensely. Like, The Santa Claus was always a repeat for me. So, I loved The Santa Claus. So, because of that, Christmas Story isn't bad, but I have to go with The Santa Claus. Okay, so here we go. I'm noticing what might end up happening already. We'll see. Okay, so Elf or It's a Wonderful Life. This one's really hard. Elf is so funny. So many good one-liners. Will Ferrell at his best. Like, so good. definitely a classic. But then you have It's a Wonderful Life, which is also a classic. I feel like I have to go with the ones that I truly enjoy and watch, though. Like, that actually mean something to me. And if I'm looking between Elf and It's a Wonderful Life, I feel like that means it has to be Elf. Am I going to make people really angry for choosing Elf over It's a Wonderful Life? I just might. But I'm choosing Elf. Okay, so in my second row bracket now, I have Home Alone versus The Grinch. Really, really tough. And the Santa Claus versus Elf. Oh gosh. This is where it's hard for me, guys. Okay, so Home Alone versus The Grinch. Let's talk through this first part of the bracket. Home Alone versus The Grinch. Oh, man. Because of the legacy that it has, and that might give away what my choice is going to be. Because of the legacy that it has, and how timeless it is, and how much of a classic it became, I do have to go with Home Alone. I do. So, sorry, I adore The Grinch, but I'm going with Home Alone. So, bye, Grinch. That feels weird, but I'm going with it. I'm going with Home Alone. Okay, now the Santa Claus versus Elf. After that whole Elf spiel I just gave it, this may seem weird. This actually feels like less of a difficult decision for me. This is why I felt like I knew where it was heading a minute ago, because out of those two, I have to say the Santa Claus. Like, the Santa Claus, I grew up on. It was... Elf was too, but the Santa Claus was one on repeat constantly. Like, it was a very big staple in my house around Christmas. It's definitely one of the ones I think of when I think of Christmas movies, just like Home Alone. So I gotta go with Santa Claus, even though the Elf is really good. Probably more quotable than the Santa Claus is, if I'm honest. Oh, now I'm second guessing myself, guys. Before I say my decision, put your decision in the comments. Let me know what you would pick. This is hard. This is really hard. See, I knew this was going to be difficult for me. Santa Claus versus the Elf. Or the Elf. The Santa Claus versus Elf. Yeah, I'm going to go with Santa Claus. So, by Elf. So that means, this is where I knew we were going to be. Home Alone versus the Santa Claus. Before we get into answering that difficult question, I want to take a second to highlight a trailer for my movie Like a Butterfly that actually shares the stories of the girls in the film. That highlights the girls who share their stories in the film that I was so blessed to get to talk to. I am so grateful to them for entrusting me with their stories, and it was such a blessing for me to be able to have that opportunity to get to know them, to talk with them, to hear their stories, but also to share their stories. So, here is that trailer for Like a Butterfly. I am now like collecting stories because this is just so incredible to hear other stories.
My name's Lindsay. I'm 36. I live in Missouri. I was diagnosed with mosaic Turner's when I was 12.
I started like when I was 5 years old. It was when I was diagnosed, and my mother and my father, they saw that I was much shorter than my classmates.
My name name is Caroline. I'm 20 years old. I'm from Boston, Mass. I was diagnosed when I was 2.5 in June of 2002, and I was having frequent ear infections, sinus infections, I think even like cold and strep throat.
And of course, you can stream Like a Butterfly on our website, butterflyentertainment.online. You can find the link in the show notes wherever you're watching or listening to this podcast. And you can either rent it or purchase it. I hope you would check it out. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think if you do get to watch the movie. And I hope you enjoy it. Now, back to the most difficult decision in the movie bracket. Okay. Home Alone versus Santa Claus. I'm a sucker for nostalgia, guys. And both of these movies hit hard with the nostalgia. Like, hard with the nostalgia. Both of these are, I feel like, classics. Both of them are timeless. Both of them were strong enough to start franchises. And I just have such a hard time choosing a favorite. And so this can't be about my favorite between these two. I feel like I can't solely, not like my preference isn't going to come into it at all, but I can't base it solely off which one I would call my favorite. I don't feel like that's a fair evaluation of a movie anyways, of like which one's just my favorite. But I know it'll play some into this, but I can't solely base it off of that. I have to also look at the timelessness, the icon level of it, the quotability of it, because that's important to me, and the level of influence in our culture, right? How deep did it get into the culture? Looking between Home Alone and the Santa Claus, I have to go with Home Alone. I have to go with Home Alone. I love the Santa Claus. I love all of the movies in this movie bracket. This is a tough one, and it's even tougher because you don't have a million different decisions. Like, you're not picking from a million different movies. It's a very select, classic, elite group. Very small, very pointed choices for the movie bracket. But out of these two, I have to go Home Alone. I have to go Home Alone. For many reasons that I already listed, but also just because I feel like if you're going to call a movie a classic, out of those two, it's definitely Home Alone. Definitely Home Alone. It's incredible what they did with that movie. And of course, it's Chris Columbus, right? Like, are we surprised? No, he's incredible. But also, the level of talent in Macaulay Culkin to carry that movie that way at that age is incredible. And it's just, it's one that ticks all the boxes for me. It's classic. It's very, very festive, right? It is fun. It's quotable. It has really good one-liners. And it is timeless. Like, there's not a ton of moments I watch in that movie where the things that are outdated, because there are a few things you notice that are outdated, actually bring me out of the story. Like, there's certainly things that are outdated in it when you watch it, but it doesn't bring me out of the story. And that is the mark of a timeless classic. So, for all of those reasons, maybe some people will find this a cringy, predictable choice, but give credit where credit's due, Home Alone's the winner for me. Home Alone, out of this Christmas movie bracket, Home Alone is the winner for me. And I kind of saw it coming when it got down to those final four. I could see which one in each one I was going for, and I'm like, oh, it's going to be Home Alone versus Santa Claus. And Home Alone versus Santa Claus, I know which one I'm going for already if I have to choose between those two. So, yeah, I knew where it was going, which, you know, I'm very proud that that's my choice. Home Alone is an incredible movie. Decades later, how many? Like 3 decades later? Macaulay Culkin is still going on tour sharing this movie. The original, not any of the sequels. The original. He's taking on tour and panel answering questions for people. It's still that relevant. It's amazing. So, okay, I've talked up Home Alone probably enough. I'm happy with that. That makes me really happy. I had a lot of fun going through this, talking about these different Christmas movies. I do think it'd be fun to take a minute here before we wrap things up to share some of my other favorite Christmas movies that weren't in this bracket. Number 1 being The Holiday. Kate Winslet, Jack Black, Cameron Diaz, Jude Law. So good. So good. Always on my list of Christmas movies. Also, Christmas with the Cranks. Christmas with the Cranks. Jamie Lee Curtis, Tim Allen. So good. Really, really good. I'd say those two would probably be my other big honorable mentions that weren't listed in the bracket. If it had been a different version of The Grinch, I would have added Jim Carrey's version of The Grinch. Because to be honest, Jim Carrey's version of The Grinch is my favorite. But, yes. So good. So, so good. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I would love, if you went through this bracket with me, I would love to hear your results. What movie did you end up getting to? Where did you struggle? What ones were hard ones to choose between? I would love to hear. Also, if there are other Christmas movies that got your honorable mention that weren't in the bracket, leave it in a comment. Let me know. I would love to hear. And that is our Christmas episode, you guys. This was so much fun. Thank you so much for every episode that you guys have hung out with me for the studio sessions for this year. I know I started the podcast later in the year, so we didn't have an entire year of the podcast yet, but I am so, so excited. And I will see you guys next week as we're heading into 2026. Have a wonderful Merry Christmas, and I'll see you guys then. Bye! The Studio Sessions is a Butterfly Entertainment production. You can keep up with all of our podcasts, YouTube videos, films, and other projects on our Instagram page. We are at Butterfly Entertainment Group. Thanks for listening.